Before I go any further, I want to say thank you to Goliath Games for these free products. Greetings, everyone. This is your Toy Commander. And are you guys ready for today's mission? Great, so am I. Planet Zizzle! Alright kids, welcome back to Planet Zizzle. And no, we are not going to the beach today. This beach bag is filled with some goodies from Goliath. If you guys aren't familiar with Goliath, they come out with all kinds of like interactive games like Rattlesnake Jake. They have Dino Crunch. What else did they? Shark Bite. And Johnny the Skull. Greedy Granny. You know, these are just some of the games that we have reviewed on our channels on Toy Daycare and Planet Zizzle. So let's find out what Goliath has for us in this handy little cooler. I do have to say that this cooler does not come with the games, it's just for promotional purposes only. Alright, so let's unzip and see what's inside. Oh, we have a couple games in there. Alright, so our first game is called
Dawn Under!
This has to do with the frighteningly fun memory game. Ages 6 and up and 2 to 6 players. And it looks like it has to do with vampires. Here's a look at the back. Dawn Under is a frighteningly fun memory game for the whole family. And it looks super fun. And who doesn't love a memory game, right? So I'll just read off some 3 basic steps of the game, and then I'll briefly explain how the game works. So, open the grave lids and try to remember the colors. Put the open vampire into fitting graves, or add the garlic bundle to upset your opponents.
Oh no!
And then number 3 it says, watch out for garlic or already occupied graves, and be the first to find places for all your vampires. Sounds cool. Alright kids, so I'm not going to actually play the game, but I'm going to show you how it works and show you the contents of what's inside. Alright, so here are the rules for the game. Right here, 2 pages, it looks pretty easy. Here's some punch outs here. There's a whole bunch of these, and these are some playing pieces, I think, right here. So let's go ahead and keep going, see what we have. This is the board for the game. Let's open that up and set that up just so you can take a look at that. So here's the back side of the board. It looks like we have a whole graveyard set up with some skeleton reading a book, some bats. Looks like we have a cat, and there's a crow sitting on top of one of the gravestones. Anyway, that's the back side, and this is the playing side. All right, let's put that down. Okay, so the first thing we're going to see is the object of the game. So the object of this game to be the first player to bury all your vampires. Next step. Alright, so all these cutouts, I guess these are called grave lids. So you need to remove all 60 of them, but first we need to remove these 6 with the rats on them and put them aside. So here are my 6 grave lids with rats on the other side. I'm going to put those right over there for now. And now we're going to remove all these punch outs. So all these grave lids we need to face down. There are different colors. There are white, black, green, yellow, blue, red, and maybe another color. And there are 60 of them. Next step would be to take these 6 rat cards and mix them into this deck right here. And then we have to place each grave lid on top of every grave site. Let's do that and fill the board. Alright guys, on the next step, we need to take all these vampire cards right here with various colors and vampires. We need to punch those out, and we need to distribute them evenly between each player. So we don't have players here today, but I'm showing you how they do it right here. So let's go ahead and punch out all those vampire cards, and then each player will turn over the 2 on the end to face up and expose the vampire. Just like this, 2 on each end. 2 there, 2 there, 2 there, 2 there. So this is what it will look like in front of each player. Also choose their player icon, which matches their garlic bundle. Alright, so here is a bag of steaks. because not those type of stakes. These are stakes that you're supposed to be putting through the vampire's heart. Okay, so there are 13 of these
Stakes to put in the middle of the game. Ha ha!
That's right, it's my vampire voice. So let's put those little stakes on the center of the board. That's the basic setup of the game, and now it's time to play. So on gameplay it says, the player who woke up the latest this morning starts the game, and the game proceeds clockwise. So that player will go first and choose one of these grave lids and open it up and turn it over so everybody can see that it's a white color on the other side. Okay, so here is the next step. If this color matches any one of your vampires that are exposed, then this vampire lid goes to sleep. Okay, so just so we can play this game and show you how it works, this vampire is a match. It's white. So this vampire will go to rest inside there with this back on top. And then you can turn over another one. And when these are all gone, you win the game. If another player accidentally uncovers a grave that is occupied, that player has to take one of these black stakes. So the player that acquires 3 of these stakes during the game, each of the other players gives you one of their vampire cards. So that's not good because you're accumulating one more vampire that you have to match. If you cannot bury one of your vampires in the grave, you can choose to bury one of your garlic tiles instead. And then your turn is over. And that's one of these right here. And if it's your turn and you uncover a garlic tile on accident, then the owner of that garlic tile places a vampire at the end of your post right here. And another thing, and if you turn over, oh no, it's a rat, then you have enabled the rat plague.
What?
During a rat plague, you can turn over, optional, in any order, any number of grave lids adjacent to the grave from which the rat plague originated. So just like this, you can turn over this one, this one, this one, just like that. So we have 2 red, a green, white, and a black surrounding the rat plague, and those will stay open. There are many other components to this game, but just to give you guys the basic understanding that winning the game, the first player to bury all the vampire tiles, which are these, by putting them to rest in graves or by giving them to other players, wins the game. And it also helps you practice your memory. Alright, let's go on to our next game in the bag. It's Finding Nessie. Oh, the Loch Ness Monster. Cool. Before we get to Nessie, let's empty out this bag. Whoa, check this out. We have Arrowfly Tri-Blade, fast flying boomerang. What else? And this looks like a bubble gun. And this is from Goliath. And what is this cool item? Oh, it's a beach blanket. All right. Okay, so on the back of this Nessie game, it says each player takes on the role as a diver exploring the lake. That's the Loch Ness. During their turn, they get a chance to peek through the muddy waters, but things aren't always what they seem. Was that a tale or just a trick of the eye? Could it be the rare lucky fish? Be the first player to piece the photograph of Nessie together in making the discovery of the century. So it looks like number 1, choose a lake area. 2, dive. 3, clear the waters. Let's take a quick look inside. Okay, so inside we have our Finding Nessie rules right here. We'll go over those briefly in just a minute. Here's some punch outs right here. And some more camera punch outs and some Nessie punch outs. And there's all these round circles here for punch outs too. Okay, so this is the Loch Ness Lake and it stays right in this box. And we also have these 4 divers game pieces. Okay, so according to the instructions, before we start the game, we need to punch out these cameras right here. We need to also punch out the tokens, the lake lids, and their frames. So let's go ahead and do all that now. Now that we have everything punched out, we need to take all these tokens and place them on the lake bed. Okay, once we have all the tokens down, we need to put the surface right over them. Now, as you notice, there's a small lip right here which leaves a distance between the tokens and the surface. And each one of these tokens has either a part of Nessie. There's different pieces of Nessie, her head, her back, her tail, her feet. And then there's other various tokens here too. So let's put the lake bed right on top, just like that. We also need to take these lake lids and put them right over each one of these areas with these little peepholes. Okay, these are the square tokens of Nessie that we need to break apart and put in a pile right next to the box. Then each player chooses a colored different diver and places it on one of the lake beds closest to the edge. Like that. Okay, so now we're ready to start the game, and the first person to go is the one who recently took a bath, starts the game. And then you go clockwise from there. And the object of the game is the first person to build a complete picture of Nessie with these cards on your picture board will win the game. So the step 2 would be to lift your diver and open the lake lid and to see what is beneath the lid. Now you should be able to see several tokens. Let's start with the blue one first. So as you remove the lake bed, you're going to see some of the round discs exposed. So I see the head of the Loch Ness. So that means you go over to this pile and you have a matching piece that goes right on your camera, and you're on your way to completing Nessie. And I also see another piece, so you grab the second one right here, and now you have 2 pieces of the puzzle of Nessie. And there's one more, but I can't quite see what it is, but that's okay. We got 2, so that's good. Before we close the lid, we want to make sure we're going to hide all these token pieces in there, so it's empty. Put the lid back on, and then clear the waters. Shake it like this, and the next person will go, and they can stay here or they can move. So they chose to move, so we're going to remove this one and see, whoa, look at all the pieces. So I know that the fish means you get an extra turn, but I also don't see any pieces of Nessie in there. If they don't see any pieces, they choose to use that fish for a free turn. So what they need to do is clear the waters like this, put the lid back on, and shake it again. And let's go to this one over here. And we didn't get any pieces of Nessie in that one. Let's try our red diver. Oh, nothing in there. Oh, wait a minute. There is a free spin. So let's put this back on and shake it up. Let's go to this lake bed right here. Oh, and I see Nessie's tail. So they need to take a picture. Click. And that player gets a piece of Nessie's tail. And there's nothing else in there that they can use. So they spread it out, put the lake bed piece back on, cover, and go to the next person. And the first player to complete the whole picture of Nessie wins the game. You have a lot of fun discovering different pieces of Nessie under each lake bed here. See? Pretty. Okay, kids, that's it for today's video. 2 fun games from Goliath Games, Dawn Under and Finding Nessie. Don't forget to share this video with your friends, smash that like button, and come back to Planet Zizzle to keep the missions going. This is your Toy Commander signing off, and I will see you on our next mission. It's now time for me to blast off out of here.